let's take a stand. Thoughts come alive, flowing through the pen. With every stroke, we create, we mend. The conversations plan. A bond we defend. Dream on, draw us to it again. And beyond we share. As we draw, we connect. A love affair. Sketching dreams without a single care. Drive over the tether, heavy share. As we draw, we connect the land. A love affair, sketching dreams without a single care. Travel, draw together we dare. Chatter and scribble, my pencils in hand. As we draw, we chat, it's a wonderland. Colors collide, imagination so grand. Travel, draw, and let's take a stand. Thoughts come alive, flowing through the pen. With every stroke, we create, we mend. The conversation.
And we are live! Hi, welcome people joining in tonight. We are going to be talking about a subject that I do want to state. Following is my opinion and the chat as we talk about things, because we are touching on two actual, one of which is started with the other which is wrapped up in court, happening around the same time, in the same locale. Not so conveniently for what they involve. Deaths, one of which current death, and we talk about hatred on one side and the love on another that ironically is on the opposite ends of the spectrum. It really is weird. For those that are tuning in, this is Dribble Draw. It is our topical drawing sort of show. Kind of just cover up on different subjects each time. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be covering trials because, yeah, they just happened. Well, Daniel Penny's case just ended yesterday. And, of course, Luigi Mangione is currently a prominent suspect assassination of the United Health. So we're going to be covering a little bit of what they are and sort of how the media is portraying it and how the public is treating it. I mean, it's a mixed bag when we talk about things like this. How pretty much any crime is done. So, I mean, it's, you go into true crime, and when you go into talking about things, I mean, there's always a black and, I mean, people want to say black and white, but there's always actually more so one person's view versus another person, and then the truth. Never gonna have someone who's 100% right in their say it. Used a picture of Batman, a thumbnail with Daniel Penny and Tony, and appropriately, I feel Batman's on the side with Penny. Say it was a vigilante act. It kind of is, yeah, but let's say it's not the wrong thing that had to be done. Now, did Daniel Penny intend to murder? No. I mean, sadly, the world is far too often we have accidental murders, and it just so happens that that was the case here. Daniel was trying to do this is how the court decided by the court that Daniel wasn't in kill. He was unfortunately did kill in an action to protect others. And this is not just, through my, and it's also through the testimony of several of the people there at the time, as well as the video and the video evidence of this crime occurred. So it's not like, oh, we don't know what's there was. Daniel Penny, we can talk about a little more solidly. The Luigi Mangione, the murder occurred last week. And I'll call out Taylor Lorenz on this. You're a freaking reporter and you celebrate the death of an individual. I don't care who that individual is. You celebrate the death of someone. That is not a good thing. I mean, there are times that people are like, oh yeah, well, Hitler died, we celebrated. Yeah, but it's more a matter of we stopped his ideal. Same with, pretty much with Osama bin Laden. I mean, was I glad he was out and no longer causing a threat? Yes. Do I feel like I should celebrate? No. And sadly, we're getting to that point, it seems, in this world where we're going to celebrate the deaths of people. At least one side of the conversation is definitely celebrating the death of others. And I've seen this multiple times. It's not unheard of. It disgusts me each time when people really invigorate and celebrate. A good example is when Rush Limbaugh died. A lot of people on the left celebrated that. And I mean, love or hate the guy, he was a pinnacle of the radio industry. And I mean, gotta respect some of that, but yeah, he died. Okay. If you don't like his viewpoints, then sure. But don't celebrate his death. I mean, it's not be honoring and celebrating death. Another good example, 9/11, when it occurred. A lot of the Middle East was celebrating the death of thousands. And flat out, as someone who was literally trying to just make my own first living, because I was literally looking at my first apartment when 9/11 occurred, it irritated me horribly to watch people celebrate the death of thousands and be like, oh, well, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. You celebrate a war for when it's over. You don't celebrate for killing the people. I mean, if that makes any sense. Yeah, we have celebration. Well, we haven't had one since World War II, but we used to have celebrations of the end of war. But the celebration is for the end of the war, not of the people. And it just disturbs me when I see a lot of people just go out and be like, oh, well, CEO really deserved to die. No, he did not deserve to die. Okay? We do not need to be calling out the death of other people. We may disagree with their opinions, we may disagree with views. It does not mean you celebrate death. And I mean, I'm literally sitting here as I talk to you about this, some of the setup for the comic page I'm working on, looking at Twitter, and Twitter page I'm looking at of the top trenders. One was Mangione, and the other one was Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, the Kyle Rittenhouse case is over and done with. But a lot of people are trying to compare Mangione to Rittenhouse, and how Rittenhouse got off, and so Mangione should get off. No, Rittenhouse was doing it in self-defense. I love it, hate it, whatever. It was self-defense. This is flat-out murder. This Mangione, if it is Mangione, I have to state, again, not convicted, so we have to be careful with the word. Mangione is established to be an assassin who lied in wait and killed in cold blood. There's no self-defense argument here. And if you want to just be like, oh, well, absolutely, I mean, the guys deserved it because ripping off the world. I mean, yeah. Do health companies screw us? Yes. I went into bankruptcy mainly because of health bill, and I'm still fighting my health issues, but I'm trying to not use things like, without insurance, and I'm sure insurance, I might still have issues with getting help on those issues, particularly stomach issues, because it is such a rare, and they don't know how I can cut. So, and what's worse is it's like, okay, this week I literally found out a lot of the stuff I've been doing for the last year, I've been diagnosed for a year now, has been the actual opposite of what I should be doing. Great. A lot of the other foods I should be eating, I shouldn't be. So it's like, oh, okay. So, I mean, it's trying to deal with it myself. But when you talk about killing a crime, and there's no light way to put it. I mean, assassination is a crime, all hands down. There's no ifs or buts on, oh, well, maybe they were doing it this day. Oh, no. And the self-defense argument does not work. Now, I can't fully say that with Daniel Penny case. I can't say it was self-defense, but you had a case of an individual who had 44 felonies, or not 44 felonies, 44 cases against him, was an active criminal on the watch list, on the wanted list. And he was mentally disturbed, needed help immediately, essentially. Had assaulted not one, but two elderly folks, one older man, one older woman, and kidnapped a 7-year-old girl. Gets on the train, he's harassing this, I believe it was a young black woman, and basically got stopped, and saved, or they basically stopped him and helped, put him in sort of a chokehold. And Daniel did it, but there were several other people that also were holding down the victim of the crime. And for the trial to be even brought up, a lot of people, and there are issues that are still going to be a problem as we go down the line. No. Was it right to even have that case? The answer is pretty much no. And there's good reason to say no on that. Might as well just... the reason being is essentially you're dealing with an individual who he was drugged out, was violent, had a history of violence, and was acting violent and threatening individuals in the situation. in all sense of that, you don't know if that individual has a weapon, that individual will actually proceed to do anything. You have to act. And Daniel Penny acted, and he grappled the individual, I'm not giving the victim's name. Grappled the victim and strangled him by holding him in a chokehold. Now, the strangulation also was caused by the I believe, laced marijuana that the individual was on at the time. And it's important to note that when you have chemicals mixed up like that in the body, that it's likely going to result in a bad breathing issue. You'll choke and pretty easy. There's a reason why a lot of choke on their own vomit of drug use and die. Because happens, you choke on your own. That's probably what happened. Because even the coroner, or one of the coroners that studied the situation, said that, you know, it was not just the choke hold, but it was the drugs as well. So more than likely, there was vomit involved that got stuck in there. Strangled him, essentially, in it. Trying to be very careful with my wording, but essentially, from my understanding, that's how that case went down, and that event went down. So when we talk about, you know, was the criminal actually, you know, being held down and choked out and strangled by Mr. Penny, from the court, so officially say, court case says no. Daniel Penny was trying to stop the situation. He even, when he found out, because the police told him that he was dead, he thought he was just unconscious, and it devastated him upon that time. And then have an event where you go to try and save other people from a threat, and you end up with a dead life. I can only imagine how that shakes you. It helped that Daniel was a former Marine that dealt with death before. He's probably killed a person. So, it's not unheard of. Now, it's upsetting, probably something he's living with for the rest of your life. It's something he's going to be haunted with, that he's taken a life. And that's going to weigh on the soul. That really does. Whereas the other situation with Luigi Mangione, we have a well-off, rich, smart, intelligent young man who, with all likelihood, had health conditions that may or may not have led to mental health issues that brought this. Don't know. We'll find out in time. But I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, as someone who suffers from pain regularly and how it's affected me mentally, I can say it sucks. When I start feeling a lot of pain, I shut up, I recluse. I become pretty much bitter and enraged. And it's all, like we said, I've got pain that I can't get rid of. Always going to be with me. It's with me all the time, and no, I suffer from it time to time, and it makes it really hard to concentrate on things. So doing things like art, which I really love, it becomes really hard to focus on. So, I mean, doing stuff like the streams here, there's a reason I take off when I'm not doing well. It's because I would be absolutely just like, hey. That's what I am. I have, at times, I have to be like, alright, I'm in so much pain, I can't work. I literally have to spend time just laying down in bed and taking as much of the pain meds as I have to try and do better and not be in so much pain. Really kind of sucks, you know? So could the back pain, because what we've learned about today is a couple things from the Mangione case. One, he supposedly suffers from, if it was, well, it's back pain, but it's, viral, something like that, where I believe the bones are fused, so it's really hard to bend and do certain activities, and I can only imagine how much it sucks. I mean, my stomach issue luckily goes away at times. The pain, I can't imagine daily pain all the time, 100%. It drives me insane, and that's the case for, you know, Luigi. So I mean, now there are a bit more things. We learned a bit about, supposedly about his manifest. I'm not going to give full details about the manifest from what I heard about, because that's not the. This is a rarity for us to touch upon true crime. Touch upon issues about topical things that may lead to a true crime, such as the case of Ava from Beast situation. I don't know if that's going to become. We don't know. That's for them all to deal with and confront. But when you have a situation like this with Luigi, where he has a manifest, very much from what I understand, his manifest is very similar to the Unabomber. Back in the 90s, well, 70s to 90s. I think finally got him in getting aughts, 0 years. I do believe they had gotten him like 2003. But had a manifest, and that's basically, so why do I do this? Why the world needs to, you know, deal with these things. When I understand, it was very anti-capitalist. In fact, the statement of him being discovered and being, quote, ratted out in McDonald's, where they caught him yesterday. There was a statement that I heard that it was possibly intentional so that he would die in a symbol of capitalism. The whole, oh, I want to be suicided by cop. And yeah, I know this definitely not getting, but might get flagged for. But I mean, when you're talking about some true crime, that's a thing, and unfortunately, it's more of a thing these days with a lot of the crimes we've had, a lot of the mass shootings we've had in the past. A lot of them want to go out in glory, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And he gonna actually face the potential crime in court, taken to court. So we will see how that situation is played out. but it's still a matter of, should this be celebrated? That's the reason for the topic tonight. That is, no, you should not ever celebrate death. We've kind of started talking about this. And the fact that people are honorizing or saying, oh, well, Mangione needs to get off because of, I mean, the stupidest thing is because he's hot. And I've seen this in previous case files, cold case files, or murder, homicide case files, where there are groupies and they come out in full and they're like, oh no, he's too hot to kill somebody, or oh no, we it's like, no, don't, no, I'm sorry, because you find someone attractive does not mean they're innocent of crimes, especially of murder. So absurd. But, I mean, we're gonna look at this from a little bit of a comic book perspective. And it's not unheard of for us to idolize comic books. Hell, we've got franchises going crazy. And like I used in the thumbnail, Batman and Joker, they are iconic figures. There recently was a Joker movie out. I did not go see it. I saw the first one in the series, but I understand this is just gonna piss me off if I enjoyed the last one, which I did. So, when you write a story with a compelling villain and a compelling hero, but you make that hero a vigilante, case of, said example, Batman. Batman is would the criminals Batman arrests actually, or stop, actually survive the trial and all that? No. They probably would have gotten out that way. Or they may have been institutionalized, but fucking vigilante law, it's still considered not provable. I mean, Batman would have to show up in trial, and I don't think Bats ever really kind of does that. I mean, I could be wrong. If you're a Batman fan and he did that in the comic, point it out to me, because I only know Batman from TV series and movies. A little bit of the comics, but that's when it's like the absurdity of Batman. The whole anti rock and roll Batman. What was it? Was it Punk? I don't remember which Batman's against. It was a dumb thing. It was a dumb concept in comics to write, and part of the reason I don't respect these comics that mind you, they probably don't respect me very much because I art for them. Clear cubes of wonder, let the summer spin. Hey there, little machine, please do your best. But and when you have a character that's sort of vigilante, laws don't apply. The law is as you interpret. I mean, a good couple examples was Batman, Judge Dredd, quote, "I am the law," type of scenario. Punisher, without the law, with guns. Marvel's version of the vigilante hero. I mean, there are other vigilantes and indie. It's a convenient idea, but it's less a workable thing in real life. And I'll use a real life example. So there was a vigilante that public enjoyed. I believe I don't know if it was in Vegas or not. But he went by the name of Phoenix. And the dude was looked upon, and you probably find a few documentaries and whatnot focusing on him being a quote-unquote hero. Basically, but intervene, give out, call 911 for incidents to find and whatnot, and do a report. So he did it kind of the right way. I have to use, because I don't know of the severe cases, if it was true. But basically, from what I understand, it was basically glorified, taped, because he did wear spandex, and okay, I think he had a cape. I could be wrong. He went around solving crime in his hometown, and that came to an end when it was found he was dealing drugs. Yeah, when your vigilante is committing a crime, while quote unquote ending a crime, trying to end crimes, yeah. The vigilantism doesn't quite in most sense. I say in most because Daniel Penny's case, yeah, it worked. What Kyle Rittenhouse, since we brought that up earlier, that case, would I call that vigilantism? Not really. It was more self-defense, because Kyle was being attacked, being hit and attacked, and in self-defense he shot back and killed an individual. Actually, he killed two, and shot another one. An individual who was a known pedophile. So I have less sympathy for that victim. I really don't. Because in the end, as I said, it's everybody has their rights and wrongs. Everybody kind of. Let's get some talk in. Let's bring up. First, bring up the penny. Nope. That's. Where? Okay. So, I just grabbed the first AP article I could on the case that was current. So, this case involves the sister of Daniel Penny coming out about the unfortunate fatal choking of the home of Jordan Neely, 30-year-old. People want to make note that he was a Michael Jackson was a street performer, and street performers, if you don't know, in bigger cities, or I think Chicago has them too, LA, San Francisco, maybe even. They're people that dress up as characters, or people. In the case of Neely here, and sort of demand photos. If you take a photo with them, they demand, payment, and usually it's a hefty payment. In New York and California, I know. I think it's like $30-some for a freaking photo, or even more. And it's just like, no, I'm not gonna support somebody who just randomly dressed up as somebody else that way. I mean, if we go to a convention, you're dressed up that way, hell yeah, I'll support you. If I take a picture with you, I'd first have to ask permission, and if you're asking for money, the answer is going to be no. I'm not going to take a picture with you, or to pay you to get a picture with me. Pictures are free. All right. Photographs. I will never, charge, and I never buy something that is a photograph unless it's a portraiture. And if it's a portraiture, they're putting in effort, they're setting up the whole scene, they're doing all that kind of stuff. That you pay for, yeah. But no, with what some of these street performers do, no, absolutely. So basically, yeah, Penny is a former U.S. Marine, and when he basically did it, and he said he was calm and spirited person. The man, you come out of a war situation and you come into a city, and in case of Penny, he was trying to become, I don't know if he'll still be able to, because there's going to be a black mark following him in this case, of him being an architect. He wanted to be an architect. He, I believe, studied to be an architect. He's trying to live, a deep life. And in all sense, Neely probably wanted and had a dream to do things, but unfortunately had some severe mental disorder that are going on. A lot of those of his situations from abandonment. I will say this, abandonment from his father. Mom was murdered as her, but his father abandoned him. The same father who now shedding crocodile tears for his son. And I will say crocodile tears because when you want to be the father after your son's died and make a public thing about it and try to make yourself famous and get money off of it, no, you're not actually honoring your child. You're not actually been a help for your child. Neely was homeless. As someone who's been homeless twice in my life, it is not easy. I can only imagine it in New York City, especially these days with a lot of the homeless population struggling. But at the same time, if you're homeless, it doesn't give you the right to commit crime. And it doesn't give you the right to assault people, to kidnap. It doesn't. I mean, I have debated calling this stream tonight. Make crime illegal again. But unfortunately, I don't see enough action from areas, particularly cities, major cities, to actually, prosecute criminals. Now, if somebody robs you, that's a crime. If someone assaults you, that's a crime. Someone wishes you, threatens you, kill you, that is a crime. Someone actually does kill you, that is a crime. There is no reason to let these off soft if they are caught and proven guilty. Yet, for some reason, there's been this mindset for the last several years, probably about 6-7 years, that been, oh, no, they committed a crime, but they need to reform. Society's done them wrong. No. Society can only do so much for you. There's a certain point you have to do something for society. And I mean, when I was homeless, I lived out of my car for the second time. Actually, for both times. I pushed to get a job. I did not beg off the street. I would go to food banks to get some food that I could eat, that I could keep. and I would work hard to make every little dime that I could by actually doing something good, which in the case for me was art. I could do art as long as I could get paper, pencil. I could do art. You know, if it meant all I'd get is like $5 from somebody for a quick sketch, that's still something. Now, a lot of places have, you know, issues. They'll be like, oh, well, you're running a business, you need to have a business license. It's like, that's, you know, I'm a little more frustrated with, and it's an area I really don't appreciate when you force back people who are trying to make a living. Trying. Just out and out begging is not trying. And all more power to you. If you want to do it, do it. I just think it's a little overcharging for a freaking photo with a character that they technically don't have rights to do. Because usually it's just somebody who gets a costume from a costume shop and puts it on, and they don't have the legal rights to make that money off of that image. Issue with copyright law. I draw, especially when I would draw for money for a lot of people. I would draw original content. People, I would, you know, ask them what. Sometimes I would draw fan art. The fan art I usually would not charge for, and the reason being is because it walked that line of copyright function. I'm not showing what I'm. So yeah, we have a situation where commit a crime, basically, albeit a small crime. I will say, drawing a character and making money off of it should be like a very minor fine. It's not. It's far overabused. Copyright law, I think, it's been thoroughly abused in some senses, but it's also been abused in the other ways, where people have ripped off other artists' work and tried to sell it themselves, or sell it on their own and make profit off of other people's work, which is wholly wrong, and will be a topic for probably another day about that point. But when you talk about doing a situation where, trying to put myself back on topic, you make a living off of begging, and this is what scares me, because people do. There are people that live off of the content. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. I don't think it's as easy to pull off right now because there are too many people that really are suffering. Your jobs out. The money's not going as far as it used to be. But back in the day, the one that always comes to mind, and people be having a, you know, nice Mercedes, but be out begging on the change. It's not like, oh, we're living out of that Mercedes. No. They just get in the Mercedes to go. They just want the money because they don't want work. And that's something that's sort of been compelled into me since childhood. My grandfather kind of instilled that into me. He was a man that worked, and you worked for a living. It didn't matter what you did, you just worked. The man was a former veteran of the Battle of the Bulge, lost his toes in it, and spent his years to the point where the man could not physically stand on his own 2 feet, working in a grocery store as a butcher. That's. But as hard and strong he had, man would come home, he'd have his family. In the case of my father, he'd be a little more strict, but with aunt, he'd be a little more loving. But, you know, that's the way you treat people. I mean, it's family. And when you work for your living, you understand that there are going to be things that you're not going to get in life. And I don't know quite a lot of what my grandfather wanted out of life other than, you know, not suffering in pain. Because I did not know him much other than he loved his cigarettes and loved to smoke his pipe, and all that kind of brought his demise with tobacco being his Achilles heel. Of course, brought on lung cancer. That ultimately, actually, I think it was more than, but still, his lungs were not in good shape. Now, mind you, the man lived and died off of Worcestershire sauce on every piece of meat he ate, though he was a butcher and knew how a well piece of meat was supposed to be cooked and enjoyed. The man, I can only guess, military kind of ruined that for him. I didn't really get to talk to him about his military career. I didn't know much because I was a young child at the time. And the man, crotchety old man, and I didn't learn about his military career until years later from my grandmother, and she was in her declining year. Like, oh, well, and he did that. And it's like, does anybody know this? She's like, nope. Okay. I learned things like my grandfather crocheted. I did not know my grandfather crocheted. My grandmother told me that it was something that the military kind of trained married men in doing to, one, learn how to sew up a fellow soldier whose injuries are life-threatening, to be able to suture and set things. And crocheting helps with stitches, being able to install stitches. Didn't really help his foot from being frostbitten in the Battle of Baldur's Bay. He came out on the better end of Battle of the Bulge. That was, I can only imagine a winter hell like that. But it's no excuse. And I mean, I feel both of these individuals, both Daniel Penny and Luigi, they had goals, and literally had goals. In Penny's case, he used the military and the Marines to help him get towards his goal. Wasn't a rich man. Opposite end with Luigi. He was from a wealthy family, or is from a, and he had he's quite intelligent, but that he even became valedictorian, I believe it's high school or college, I don't know. But he was valedictorian. You know, you gotta have brains to become valedictorian. Either your high school or doesn't matter. But the fact that one had his brain snap, go violent, other one took action, and I feel the Marines probably helped instill that a bit more in Daniel. when he went and dealt with the situation, he was more prepared because he had training with the Marines. Of course, they're gonna put you through hell. You don't get in the Marines easily. They're basically the arbiters of not so nice treatment to get you pardoned and well off for. Oh, this was. But it's not. Okay. Harden you and to be able to handle stressful situations. And I think that's probably why you saw. I mean, pretty much from day one, when he was put up on charges, Daniel was always sort of just like calm, because it wasn't a situation where his life was getting threatened or he's being shot at, which I can only imagine he experienced. Because you don't join the Marines and just never see combat these days. Unending. But then you have a smart individual like Luigi Mangione, and intelligence broods insanity. Art broods insanity. Well, I'm told. I can't doubt that. I've had my share of insanity at that point. Particularly under the same condition, like I said at the beginning. If the pain issue that Luigi had been dealing with from having this back problem, if that caused it, I won't be surprised. We'll find out, as things go, whether or not his sanity had been ruptured by that, or if it was just, a case of someone who was mentally disturbed from the get-go. I will say some of the manifesto does not fit well with me that I've heard. To completely rely on it's the pain. Some of the manifesto sounds like it's more somebody who had an issue from the get-go on this. That feels they're smarter and superior, but may not actually be smarter and superior as they think. Because intelligence brings more than anything. And you're told all your life, oh, you're smart. People treat you, oh, you're smart, you're smart. It's the same as being like, oh, you're strong, you're strong. The moment you have a weak moment doing something, it breaks you. It only breaks you because it's like, okay, I've learned a limit, but my body is telling, oh no, keep going, keep going, keep going. And the limit has to be sort of handled and adjusted. Sort of ingest the issue. And putting a CEO, I don't care. Unless the man is actually threatening your life, there's no reason. And the fact that we have a population of people that want to celebrate things. Look, I started this saying, don't celebrate death. Do not celebrate death. There's no reason to celebrate it. I mean, you can honor it and, reflect on it. Shouldn't celebrate. And the reason being you shouldn't celebrate something like death it's very disrespectful, honestly. Um, you're honoring and celebrating and having of life itself, more so than just an individual. And that's why when I see a tragedy or see something, that I'm like, look, I don't care which side you land on. If it's if a celebrity individual, we're getting to a lot of points that I won't be surprised we start seeing people that are big names passing away due to old age. The numbers are there. Crying out loud. Most of let's see, what is it, like a quarter of Congress is well past their 50s. It's some of them are even like in their 80s to 90s, and it's absurd. It really is. We have a current president who's upcoming president who will be in his 80s when he's in office. It's not their time is going to be limited on Earth, but at the same time, I'm not going to celebrate when that day passes. It's going to be like, okay, they've passed. I will be respectful of the life they lived and the people around them, or the people that are affected by them, and then it's not something to be like, oh yeah, that person died. It's absurd, and just to hear how the world, it's disgusting. It really is. It comes down to respect. It comes down to respect of if you have no respect for life, you're basically gonna be like, screw that person, and move on with life. You're like, oh, this person sucks, and he or she deserves to die, and blah 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 blah. That's absolutely wrong in every sense of the word. And if you're wishing that upon a figure currently, I ask, please rethink that concept. Don't let that grow and fester, because honestly, I have a feeling when we talk about this case, and I'll bring up article I have. Mangione. Sorry if there's a Luigi. Can you pronounce the name? And that. Okay. When we talk about this life, everything seems like, the nice guy growing up and all stuff. Right there. Friends at the exclusive co-living space on the edge of the touristy Waikiki in Hawaii, where the 26-year-old Mangione once lived, widely considered him a great guy, and pictures and sound social media accounts as fit and smiling and handsome young man at parties. It on that. That is a picture. Whenever you hear of a killer, right, most of the time it's like, oh, he was the quiet one, or oh, he just seemed like a good person, or oh, never saw this coming. No, that's because you don't want to look negatively on every person we have in our life or interact with it. We want to be like, this person I may or may not be, someone I connect with the rest of my life, but they could be a good person. You never really want to think, oh, this is going to be the problem. This causes me issues. Uh, in the case of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, I will name in this case. I'm going to use Neely's name as well. The man may have been with, sense of corporatism, sense of capitalism, may have had greedy concepts, but he had a family. He had people that cared for him, people he loved. He had friends, loved ones. And celebration of his death is... And ultimately, I guess tonight's stream is kind of more dedicated to one person and one person alone, and that's Taylor Lorenz. I'm glad you lost your job, Taylor. I really am. I'm glad you lost your latest job. Because you're scum. Flat out scum. And you're the beast. And if you go on and get another reporting job, someone's stupid enough to put you in a reporting job, and you come out and act the way you've done in the past, which you will. I have no doubt you've not learned squat in your life from your actions. Why you keep getting fired from positions like the Washington Post and like now Vox Media. It's because you disrespect people's lives. It really is. And when you constantly just disrespect people's lives, when you celebrate threats or death, because I think she lost her job at the Washington Post when Trump had the assassination attempt back on July. I think that's what happened. I could be wrong. And she celebrated that. And now she's celebrating the, and she was pointing out, now, this insurance company should be next on the time. No, we do not celebrate, we do not honor, we do not promote killing. That is subhuman. That really is. It's subhuman. And when you have people like Taylor Lorenz who absolutely just celebrates and revels in people that she doesn't like being killed, it's utterly disgusting. It really is. That's honestly going to be the topic for today. I kind of want to draw it off for the end because I wanted to come in big with it and in the first hour, because with the case with Luigi, where it's still developing, he just got arrested yesterday. The murder just occurred last week. But in the case of Daniel Penny, he's out. There is a civil case to be brought up against him by the father of Neely. I don't think that's going to have any... I'm not alone in saying that. I know other people are like, look, on the case found, he is not intentionally doing a death, and he was trying to take an act to protect, and add on that, then the father abandoned, Neely's father abandoned him, and left him be living off the streets and mentally becoming disturbed and broken. I can only imagine Neely's issues from his mother's death to years of living on the street and what he had to deal with. I can only imagine the weight of that on one capability. And yeah, I don't have any respect for the... I really don't. Sorry. The man should have been at least a little bit kinder child. That's what it comes down to. I I have had issues. My parents let me be homeless this last time. Rightfully, I deserved the lesson. Because it was somewhat my doing. I wasn't intentionally losing my job because I had a health issue that caused me to lose. But it was because I could no longer get that job. But at the same time, I probably could have worked harder to find a job. But things have settled then. I eventually did find a job, found some work, successful in my current ventures. And at the same time, I had to own mental issues. And that's kind of where I want to kind of draw. Because in both cases, we've got mental issues. And what we usually talk about is being the better person. Work to be the better person. And in this case, we have two individuals with Neil and with Mangione that have clearly have mental issues. We don't know much with the Mangione at this point. It's not unheard of, though, to have mental issues with the younger audience. And a lot of it is don't look at hardship. We don't live hardship. And what I mean, it's not like, oh, well, I grew up poor and I don't. Yeah, I mean, that is a hardship. Not gonna diss that. But when you live in a life in complete comfort, it very much looks like Mangione did. You're gonna have sort of the, oh, that kind of stuff doesn't happen to me. I'm strong-willed. I'm better. So I will not doubt there's a superiority complex. And Neely's case, like I said, I think it literally was the abandonment. The family kind of, to lose a mother, a murder, and be abandoned by your family at that point. The living family you have. That is just, that's disgusting. I mean, it as someone who would love to have children in my own life, I literally can't afford them, and I don't have anybody to help raise them, because honestly, you need somebody to help raise life. I would never imagine abandoning my child if I had one. I'd never imagine abandoning a pet, let alone a child. So I don't understand the concept of being like, oh, well, I don't need the kid. The kid's good on his own. Throw him. I really don't understand that. Say we need more love in this world, we do. And the way to do that is honestly there for each other more than anything. I try to be respectful of other people, but I mean, honestly, I have no respect for this mother. I really do. And if anybody comes out a little bit villainous in the Penny case, it's more the dad that abandoned his child. Because he did not give his child a chance that he had the chance. That's literally that. It comes down to that. I mean, even just giving up your child for adoption would have been more beneficial than what the dad had done. So, oh. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm stressing to try and find the right words, even. And usually I try not to make a whole the whole issue for the evening. But it's kind of hard on this one because raw and fresh, in both cases. I guess the next area to really talk about is, literally within minutes of the Penny trial ending. We had groups calling for how it was wrong, how it wasn't right. No, it was right. The case is if there's clear malice. Honestly, that's what it used to be called. When you go into a case and you have a murder situation or you have a abusive situation, it's the malice there. Is there any form of regret or redemption in it? That's how you should judge it. You don't judge it on skin. You don't judge it on someone's sex. No, their orientation. You don't. That's not what is relative toward guilt or innocence. Guilt or innocence. The facts, mentality, and the remorse. I mean, there are far many cases these days that go that we'll see the criminal or the prosecuted go out there and be like, oh, I enjoyed it. I did it. I enjoyed it. No. Those are the people that need to be behind bars for the rest of their lives. Because if they're enjoying that kind of stuff, there's no reform for them. I am to bring it back to Batman. Batman, you had Arkham Asylum that was there to help with the insane. But far too often, Arkham let him down. I can only imagine Arkham as this horrible mental institution. And the best examples would be stuff like mental institution off of not Staten. Was it Statue Island back in the 80s? You legally can't go to it now. I know it's legally closed. Fire Island's closed. But they basically abused and mistreated their patients to the point that they probably were doing far more harm than good to any patient that goes. And luckily they got shut. Their asses got shut down. What they were doing. But it's that kind of treat, dehumanizing of each, that kind of really is what breaks people. I think I kind of addressed this a little bit when I talked about the Trump shooting. When you dehumanize somebody, basically Nazis. The Nazis are pretty much all dead. There's no actual Nazis. Okay, they might run into somebody who has Nazi tendency. They are not a Nazi. Okay. Now, if they start, saluting the dead picture or the picture of dead Hitler, and try to bring back the Third Reich, then sure, yeah, they're Nazis. But no one's actually doing it. And there's a lot of, I feel part of the problem with the way people handle the election these days is a lot of people have bought into the vitriol and the hate. And I kind of got this myself and caught myself doing this back in the day. And that's part of the reason why I kind of stopped being all political on main platform, unless it's, in this case, where I'm specifically covering it as a topic. When you make politics your life and let it get under and vilify somebody, and you constantly be like, that person is wrong because of this, this, and this, and the world's not seeing this, and somebody's, that's the beginning steps of losing your insanity. You're basically looking for villains in places that don't have the villains that you're quite looking for. Could there actually be stuff? Yeah, you could be right. I mean, 100% right. However, when you obsess over it, make it that how you live your life, that's when you get in the territory of losing it. And I mean, the last time I mentally ended up in the hospital for mental issues, it was because of my homelessness. It was because I was becoming homeless, that my health was in bad condition. I couldn't help how I was. They literally declared me a fall risk in the hospital because I had no real... I mean, at points, I had no control over my lower half at points. It'd be a struggle to walk. It'd be a struggle to control bodily function. Note that. It's not something pleasant, but I've gotten better over it. I've figured ways to strengthen myself, ways to build up my muscle and deal with the nerve damage I have down there. There's always going to be struggle, but at the time I cope with it. But I let it get into my mind because that's all I did was sit at home and stoop in it. Stoop and just be like, oh, well, this is how I need to live, and oh, this is how, oh, what a world, this is me, blah, 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 blah. It, suffer in my own misery. And when I became homeless, because I was spending all my time suffering in my own misery, not doing any better for my health, I had to come to a realization that maybe I was being self-damned of my own self. I was letting my ego harm my physicality. And I mean, that's, like I said, coming in, I was like, very much, I think it's a possibility for that his mentality is fractured by his health. It's very, very much something I could understand, having lived through and the pain I go through all the time, and nerve damage, and because the nerve damage is separate from stomach issue. I have an entire leg that has very little feeling. And I could, there's certain areas that I can feel pain, and there's other areas it's like, hurt that part. Oh. I must have hurt myself there. I don't know. I'm injured to the point where I don't feel it. But I can still move my legs. I can still live a life. I can't lift certain things. I have a weight limit. Have to live by. And I'll probably need help as get through mechanical or personal help. Find out. That time will come when that time. But to not make that my everything, to not make that how I live, that I actually work on being a better person with my and it means some days I might not be able to physically, and that's okay. That's still being a person. But I mean, I'll use the example of weekend. So we didn't do a stream Saturday because I had a horrible cold. I still have it. It's probably why I'm sounding a little rough in the voice today. It's because I'm still fighting it. Now, on Saturday, I was in such a shape that I was like, I cannot make it through a conversation. Cannot make it focus up. To be able to do stuff like put on a stream and talk and carry on a conversation. By everything scared to the bottom. But yeah, I couldn't do much that day, and I had to accept as like, okay, what we can do, we'll do. All right, I'm get up, get out of bed, and get dressed. I got 2 of those things done. Never really did change clothes. Or put on a shirt, I guess. Pants I did put on. But one, it didn't help that it was also freezing cold outside. That also helped me go like, I think I'm gonna spend the day just not doing much outside or anything like that. And usually my Saturday mornings consist of me personal stuff like groceries done, and I kind of did them yesterday. I didn't have the time to do it Sunday because we do our stream on Sunday afternoon at noon, and Sunday morning was tied up with getting, more importantly, laundry done in my life, which is far more needed at the time to get done than the groceries. Still have food, albeit dwindling supplies. There's food. But best I could be on Saturday was get dressed, get up, and just relax. And for me to relax, loves to work, I come out of a 8-hour job a day on a work, come in here, do a stream, draw comics, run a website, and try to live as a normal, functional, adult, single human. And I do it relatively okay. There are problems. I live. And Saturday, my living did just consist of a bed, bathroom, and vegging out and I don't give myself enough time in the past, and it's probably helped push on health issues in my life. Because I didn't. I would notoriously, and I still kind of do. Hell, I did it. I did do it Saturday night. I did not go to bed till 4 a.m. Saturday night. And then I got up at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. 4 a.m. technically on Sunday morning to 8 a.m. Sunday. And then I insisted to work through. We had our stream, we did the laundry, we did other stuff on. I didn't get to bed till about 11:30 at night. I was dead tired. But that, in the past, that used to be my regular. I would work about 4 hours. I've had some days where I've not slept all and worked multiple hours a day. I remember having work schedules when I worked with a restaurant, and I would go in there at 4 a.m. To get prep work done for the day. Then go out and do deliveries, and then by about 3 p.m., 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would call it the end of the day. So a 12-hour work day. Then I would go home, and I would work on comics. And I'd work on art. I'd work on stories. And I'd go to bed probably at about 2 and repeat it. A 2-hour. The point that I would hallucinate things that, out of sheer exhaustion, your body will hallucinate in about 3 days. Don't sleep. I know that all too well. Because I've been there. I've seen buildings that don't exist, and when I was driving, and I knew they didn't exist, I'd be like, no way, they built a building right there. It's like, no. I've once saw a clock. In fact, it was when the last time I went in mentally hospital. I was in hospital emergency room waiting, patiently, and I thought I saw a clock. Emergency room. Like, oh, well, okay, it is this time. Actually, no, it wasn't that time. It wasn't for the mental. It probably for one of my health flare-ups. But I was like, yeah. I hadn't slept well. I thought I saw this clock, and when I eventually got the chance to get a clock, I was pretty much dead on. So my hallucination was actually dead on with the timing. It just meant I needed to go home and sleep. And I laugh at this. It's like, I really need to go and do that myself much after this. But I still need to do things. I need to prepare lunch for tomorrow. Work. I do some of the viewing for the anime review. January. I need to comics, because we're doing a panel here today, and we've been drawing out the page a little but I need to finish this stuff. I got pages here opened, and one we've been working on. This one has wording. I just purposely have removed things, but I just sketched one out, as well as this Demon Blade page, as I was waiting for the stream to start. And as I was waiting for my meal, that hour late, getting to me, to get here, because I didn't have time to really cook any, plus nothing. Crap. No. My own fault for not prepping. But I had a lovely sandwich. And that was my lunch, or my dinner. My lunch was a bacon jerky and some Crispies. By Crispies, I mean, I found this thing called Moon. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but what it is it's freeze-dried cheese. And it was pepper jack. I need to watch the pepper jack because I can't spice, but I was like, okay, well, let me try it. It's not bad. It's not bad. Basically, it's just crunchy cheese. But there was also, because I basically went to the salad section, and I can't eat a salad due to my digest leaf raw vegetables. So I was like, all right, let me see what I can get here. So I got bacon bits. Apparently they have chunkier bacon. That is real bacon. Then I got shredded beets that are crispy, as well as fried dill pickles that are crispy. That are, I mean, it's call them fried. I don't know how well. They're like pickled chips, but they're actual pickle. There's actual cucumber. It's not like actual potato with dill flavoring. Like, and so I mixed all that together in a bag and called it my bag of Crispies. And I had that with some bacon jerky. That's my lunch. That's my wonderful lunch. Is that and bacon jerky. And because I forgot my coffee, Diet Mountain Dew, which I'm trying not to have too much processed food or beverage, but I needed that caffeine today. I really did. I'm at work. I'm missing caffeine. I would not have survived the day if I did not have that mountain. I mean, I'm not supposed to be drinking sodas in general, but I mean, I can have one now and then. Okay. Something like to help for the morning, get a little bit of caffeine somehow. Just any way to help, you know. It's kind of what you need. And I need to find what will help you. Sometimes it may be a substance of legal, on its state, legal, like sugar or like caffeine. Or maybe it's something like protein. Bacon jerky. Don't like jerky. I don't. Turkey jerky. Don't have a chicken jerky. I could be wrong. But bacon jerky is too good. So I found and enjoyed bacon as my go-to package. Breakfast tends to be coffee, pineapple, and honeydew. But honeydew. And it's enjoyable. I mean, that's the way I live. I mean, have that and dinner. Turkey sandwich. It just upsets me that it took me an hour to when they said they were at Loke picking it up 40-50 minutes before. And it's like, I could walk there and get the reason I didn't is because I had this to prepare for, stream to prepare for, and I didn't have the time to go. I thought. Yeah. Yeah. Best I could do today was, I needed that Mountain Dew. I needed that function. But I mean, that's essentially what I mean all the time when I use that to be the best you. It literally just means to go out and be, but be as good as you can handle yourself. It does not mean go out and crimes, go out, ugly to other people. Try to be a little bit better than the day you woke up. That's a challenge. That is a challenge, people. Far too often people are, oh well, I can't. Back to art. I cannot tell you how many times I get from people, I can't draw. And it's like, you're so good, I don't understand how you can draw like that. I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. I cannot tell you how often I've heard that phrase, and I tell them, bull crap. I was like, if you can draw a stick figure, you can start to draw a character. You're only holding yourself back doing it. It's not a hard subject to learn. Not something terribly difficult. It takes effort, depending on where you want to put your effort. You don't want to put your effort in the fine. You don't want to put your effort in anything productive. You just want to put your effort into clicking on that TV, lounging down, watching the game. Even though, as I stated in my Harry Potter stream, the game is anime these days. I don't know how that came out, but I was amazed to see that. You are kidding me. Sports are actually losing to but hey, I mean, it's not a surprise to me. You get a story that's created value. It might be far more entertaining than whatever you're into. And that's why I enjoy creating. Why I enjoy. And even pointing out stuff like individuals, they wanted to note, it's like they found some new Christian anime, and they're like, what? Christianity in anime? And I mean, there's been the whole issue with the Vatican introducing essentially a Christian VTuber as a mascot, in a sense of the word. And I mean, all more power to you, but that stuff's existed since the 80s, man. You people didn't know. The VTubers knew. But Christian anime, my first anime was Christian anime. And that was back in the 80s. Early 80s. I mean, it's the fact that people don't or think that stuff is new when there's older stuff out there always amuses me. There is a lot of stuff that's out there, guys. I mean, heck, VTubers. You had radio personalities for years that hid behind anonymity with fake names, and, cut out look some stupid duck or that. I remember back in the 80s that was the case on ours. We had Miller the Mouse, just like Donald Duck, but apparently did that. I don't know. Uh, but that was a case, and now I grow up and live in the same place. So I mean, had something dumb and stupid that a part of our area, locale, involved a stupid mic and anonymous was and talking like Donald Duck. No, I'm not Donald Duck. I'm Millard the Mallard. Yes, only copyright free. Yes, absolutely copyright free. Because you cannot copyright the voice. Copyright, you can be like, oh, well, that's absolutely Donald Duck, but you can't copyright the voice. Copyright the drawing. You can't copyright the voice. Because people can too easily repeat. That's the reason why you can't copyright. And there's such a thing as parody law. Now, today been a dead day. I can see that. If you made it to this, or you made it to this point, what do you want me to talk about? This is our topical show. It does well on certain subjects. It does horribly on others. This is a topical show meant for us to converse and talk about subjects. Sometimes I'm knowledgeable, sometimes moron. I have no doubt today we're freaking moron about this because I'm thinking about court cases that I am not involved in. I'm just listening to different takes, different personalities, but about it. And that's how I formed my opinion. I try to inform myself, and that's how I get it. But if there's a topic you really want us to cover, yeah, let me know. Naughty and getting call it here. So yeah, we didn't accomplish much art. Trying to be a little bit more tough subject. And yeah, it's a bit of a downer subject about on in the world, and it's better to cover that than politics, honestly. I'd try go. And I'm trying not to make it, solely one. But yeah, check out Demon Blade, and check out Witchn. New pages drop every Sunday. There will be a break on comics. Might be even a break on the holiday. Christmas, Year's, it might be a break on. I haven't fully decided. If I do it, do a break on streaming, it will art stream. Art streams, I have to put in more effort. Video games, I can do. If there's a game you want us to play, coming in the new year, I know we're gonna do Baldur's Gate. I know I'm very hesitant on this. GTA 6. and we'll probably do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PC. Have remake already, so and our plot to grow and execute. My nose is getting. But yeah. If you want to see a game that, well, we of course do Stardew Sundays now on Sunday of Stardew Valley with a crap ton of mods, 260 some mods now, and the game it's expanded the world well beyond what most, and we're just scratching the surface. We haven't even gotten to that much. The first year I've mainly been bringing in a regular income, but probably start focusing other things. Have anything else to note? Yeah, I'm like a ditz. Oh my god. Yeah, we will be doing some more art. I will say, come the new year, a few projects that have been on the back burner for a while are coming back. One as a monthly Magical Princess War. A lot of people like that as the sort of fiction crossover of the genre. That is coming back in. I will be releasing a new page that once a month. I haven't decided on the exact day of the month yet, but we will be setting that up. Monthly release. That way it gets. And other than that, I mean, there's not really much I can talk about. There's some stuff behind the scenes I want to work on, and some stuff I'm trying to work on. Don't know coming through. And night on Rumble, I keep trying to get Rumble to work. I'm waiting for them to literally respond to me about getting the stream working for them. As a alternate, we did have a decent following on Rumble when we started. Because we started as one. We had been off of it for 2 years, and I'm trying to come back on. And it's just been the sort of down. Demon Blade 11 is coming down. Actually, I can premiere. That's something I can premiere. Talk about. Demon Blade 10 will be ending probably January, February. I don't have an exact date yet lined up, but I can premiere the cover for 11. So, very busy cover. 11. But for those that have read the previous version, you knew Ball Games and Ball Gowns was going to be this issue. We're going to be finishing up the current story arc with them in the football game of Magical Mayhem, going into the Homecoming actual event, which is a big boss arc fight with Yoku, who's been built up for the last several chapters. So yeah, we're gonna start into that fight next issue after the story gets to. So it's no surprise that we're coming out with that something. And last time, I mean, let me cover. Last time I was more ambiguous about what the subject was because no one knew about it. Because this is sort of a rewrite in some sense, but a little bit more.
Can't you see rage against destiny?
See if I can open it up here. Alright, yeah. So, this was the original cover for Ball Games. So, a little bit different. But, I mean, you guys can see how it looked back in the day. A lot messier drawing, a lot messier. Versus what we do nowadays. Hell, this is just one panel from which probably I don't have work on the one I'm. It is gonna be. Nope. Team that hadn't appeared yet. That's gonna be. Yeah. So the scene I drew today, finished up today. It's a lot more color, a lot more fun, a lot more generalization, having more fun comic work. At the same time, enjoying creating my style, doing that. We have a request show. For those who don't know, our art streams on Saturday, Dining and Doodles. Our longest running stream. Basically, it is a request show. If you have something you want drawn, if it can be done in 2 hours. We're a little less talkative because I gotta focus on the 2-hour time limit versus my own time limit on comic page. I have to focus. Now it's that we'll be having that hour time limit. Different stuff. I've had one prepared for a while, a couple weeks now, and that being big Saturday. I can not be because I've been really wanting to draw this because I find a little bit of humor in it, where it's Chocolate Factory and Pokemon. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun there. In the end, though, pretty much over. Whole time. As always, go out there and be the best you. How, like me, dad on Saturday. And you were, if you and as always, wonderful evening, wonderful week, and a wonderful year, and we'll catch y'all time. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down, streams end. Thanks for time we spend. Laughs and smiles all through night. With you, it feels just right. Signing off. lie. With you I'm filled with pride.